Hello students, in this class we are going to discuss real gases. Now in the gaseous state, that is the states of matter, this is the second part, that is called real gases. Now what is the meaning of a ideal gas? A gas which obeys all gas laws under the given conditions of all temperature and pressure, and also it satisfies ideal gas equation. Such gas is called a ideal gas. Once again, a gas which obeys all gas laws, that is Boyle's law, Charles law, okay, and also satisfy the PV is equal to nRT, that is the ideal gas equation. Such gas is referred as a ideal gas, and which does not obey all these gas laws is known as a real gas. It is also referred as a non-ideal gas, real gas or non-ideal gas. Okay, now experimentally it was observed that real gas under low pressure and high temperature only behaves as a ideal gas. That means in nature actually there is no any ideal gas. Ideal gas is a hypothetical concept. Practically whatever the gases present around us all are real gases. These real gases, they have a ideal nature under very low pressure and high temperature. That means at high temperature and low pressure a real gas behaves like a ideal nature or ideal gas. Okay, but the reverse condition, that means under high pressure and low pressure it is not behave like a ideal gas. The condition for a real gas to behave like a ideal gas will be high pressure and low pressure and high temperature. Okay, all gases are real gases, just now I told you, which do not obey all gas laws. That means the concept of ideal gas behavior is just only a hypothetical concept, Real gases do not obey the ideal gas laws exactly under all conditions of temperature and pressure. Once again I am repeating, real gases do not obey all gas laws exactly under all conditions of temperature and pressure. Only at low pressure and high temperature. At low pressure and high temperature only real gas behaves ideal nature. Are you getting my point? Now here real gases deviate from ideal behavior. Why? Why real gases deviate from the ideal nature? The first reason, the real gas molecules have finite volume. Are you getting my point? And these gases on liquefaction they give a liquid and whose volume is also finite volume. This is the first reason. The second reason, the intermolecular force of attraction between the real gases are not zero. This is very important. That means when real gases are allowed to compress, that means undergo liquefaction. Okay, that means when real gas undergoing liquefaction, in the sense in the real gas the molecules experience intermolecular force of attractions, but whereas in ideal gas such type of intermolecular force of attractions are absent. We know in kinetic gas theory, that is the kinetic theory of molecular gases, there are two important assumptions. The first assumption will be the force of attraction between the gas molecules are negligible. This is a assumption. Okay, number two, the volume occupied by the gas molecules is negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas. It is the second assumption, and these two assumptions are not hold good at all conditions. Okay, these two assumptions are only valid under high temperature and low pressure. Now these two assumptions do not hold good under low temperature and high pressure. This is very important. That means these two, that is the point A and point B, are only valid when temperature is very high and pressure is very low. But the reverse condition, when the temperature is too low and pressure is very high, these two conditions are not valid, because when the temperature is too low, then what about the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy directly proportional to absolute temperature. When the temperature decreases, the kinetic energy of gas particles decreases, thereby the velocity decreases and they come close together. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? When the pressure is very high, that means when the gas under high pressure it undergo compression, that means the molecules come close together. That means in gaseous particles, which forces are responsible? That is the attractive force are responsible. That means in case of ideal gas, what we explained, there will be no attractive, no repulsive forces. But if there will be no attractive forces, then how it is possible to liquefy carbon dioxide? Do you know carbon dioxide is a gas? Is it liquefied into a liquid carbon dioxide? Yes. It can be solidified also. We know solid carbon dioxide is a dry ice. If the carbon dioxide is an ideal gas, there will be no attractive forces. Then how it is possible to convert into liquid or convert into solid? That means this is one of the assumption. Only this assumption, that is the ideal nature, is valid under high temperature and low pressure. Are you getting my point? Now, the main causes of deviation. The cause of deviation, that is from kinetic molecular theory of gases, two assumptions which are not hold good at all conditions. The first one, once again I am repeating, the force of attraction between the gas molecules are negligible. Number two, the volume occupied by the gas molecules is negligible as compared to total volume of the gas. And these two assumptions are not hold good at all conditions. These two assumptions only valid under high temperature and low pressure. Okay, both the assumptions do not hold good under low temperature and high pressure. Hence, the gases deviate from ideal behavior. This is very important. Now, what are the differences between a ideal gas and a non-ideal gas, that is called a real gas? The first point, ideal gases obeys all gas laws under the given conditions of temperature and pressure. But a real gas behaves only ideal nature under low pressure and high temperature. This is the condition for ideality. What is the condition for ideality? High temperature and low pressure. The second condition for an ideal gas, the difference between the ideal gas and a real gas, ideal gas obeys ideal gas equation, that is called PV is equal to nRT. But whereas in case of a real gases, they follow Van der Waals equation. They follow Van der Waals gas equation, that is P plus A into n square by V square into V minus NB equal to nRT. Are you getting my point? So this is called Van der Waals gas equation. Once again I am repeating, P plus A into n square by V square into V minus NB will be equal to nRT. Okay, here A comma B are called Van der Waals constants. Are called what? Van der Waals constants. Okay, now we will derive this Van der Waals equation in the next continuation class. Okay, what is the Van der Waals gas equation? For n moles of a real gas, P plus A into n square by V square into V minus NB is equal to nRT, where P is the pressure of the real gas, V is the volume of the real gas, okay, T is the absolute temperature, R is a gas constant, okay, and what is the N, number of moles, and what are the A and B? These are the Van der Waals constants. These Van der Waals constants depend upon the nature of the gas. Are you getting my point? Now, next difference between an ideal gas and real gas, intermolecular force of attractions in the ideal gases are negligible. That is, in the kinetic molecular theory of gases we know. But whereas in the real gases, the intermolecular force of attractions are not negligible. This is very important. And the next difference is the volume of a gas molecule negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas we know in the kinetic molecular theory of gases. But whereas according to the real gas, the volume of a gas molecule is not negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas. And the next difference, the ideal gas, there will be no ideal gas in the nature. All gases which are known to us are real gases. Ideal gas is a hypothetical situation, hypothetical phenomena. Now, ideal gas cannot be liquefied, whereas the real gas can be liquefied. Because during the liquefaction, what happens? The gaseous molecules are come close to give liquid, and further cooling, the liquids will be solidified. In this condition, the criteria will be intermolecular force of attractions. Suppose if the ideal gas has no intermolecular force of attractions, then how it is possible to liquefy ideal gas? That is impossible. That means a ideal gas cannot be liquefied, but whereas a real gas can be liquefied. Now, the study of the deviation. Now, the study of deviation, that means a real gas, how it deviates from the ideal nature, okay, can be explained. Number one, by taking the Boyle's law. What is the Boyle's law? At a constant temperature, the volume of a given mass of a gas is inversely proportional to its pressure. Now, at a constant temperature, if you draw a graph between the PV, that is the PV, that is a constant, PV is equal to constant at a constant temperature, versus pressure. If you draw a graph between PV versus P, you will get PV versus P. We know isotherm if the PV value on the y-axis and the pressure value on the x-axis. At a particular constant temperature, the PV value become constant. That's why there is a straight line parallel to the pressure axis, that will be the x-axis. Are you getting my point? So this is which nature? Ideal gas nature. Okay. This is also called perfect gas. Ideal gas or perfect gas. Okay. Now if you see in this graph, methane and carbon monoxide, their PV value initially decreases, okay, as the pressure increases, and then their PV value reaches to minimum value, and further increasing of pressure, their PV value continuously increases with increasing of the pressure. And two gases here, that is hydrogen and helium, whose PV value continuously increases by increasing of the pressure. Are you getting my point? That means from the above plot, we observe that the gases like carbon monoxide and methane, the PV values first what happens? Decreases with increasing of the pressure and reaches a minimum value, and then increasing pressure, their PV value continuously increases. Are you getting my point? So actually the ideal condition, there will be a straight line that should be parallel to x-axis, that will be the ideal gas behavior. But if you see methane and carbon monoxide, their PV value initially decreases and reaches to minimum value, and still increasing of pressure, the PV value continuously increases. But whereas in case of hydrogen and helium gases, their PV values are continuously increases with increasing of the pressure. So this is the deviation of real gases from ideal nature. Are you getting my point? Now the second curve, here we have PV curve. We know the pressure volume curve when the temperature is constant, rectangular hyperbola. Okay. Now if you plot a graph between pressure and volume, keeping the temperature constant. Okay. Now there are two graphs here. First graph here, if you see, this will be corresponding to ideal gas. This is the graph 1, ideal gas, and graph 2 corresponding to real gas. Are you getting my point? Now if you see, at very low pressure, let's suppose this is a very low pressure. At low pressure, there will be no any deviation from the real gas from ideal nature. That means at very low pressure, almost the volume of real gas and volume of ideal gas is almost to coincide with each other. But as we increasing the pressure, what happens? The real gas deviates from ideality. That means graph 2 deviate from graph 1, if you see in this graph. Are you getting my point? From this conclusion, what we observe from the graph, at high pressure, the real gas measured volume, the measured volume, nothing but experimental volume, it was observed that more than that of the calculated value from the PV is equal to nRT. So from PV is equal to nRT, we can find the volume and experimental volume. If you compare these two, the experimental volume will be more than the calculated volume. That means, let's suppose at a particularly this pressure, this is a very high pressure. Okay, at this high pressure, if you compare the volume of a ideal gas and volume of a real gas, now what is the volume of a ideal gas? Let's suppose this will be the V1. This is the volume of a ideal gas. Are you getting my point? Now what is the volume of a real gas? This will be the volume of a real gas. Are you getting my point? Volume of a real gas. Now tell me, the volume of ideal gas will be less than the volume of a real gas, or volume of a real gas will be more than the volume of a ideal gas. But at very low pressure, if you decrease the pressure, that means at low pressure, if you observe, these two curves are almost approach with each other. That means the calculated value and experimental value are both are almost same when it will happen at low pressure. That means at low pressure, the real gas behaves like a ideal gas nature. Are you getting my point? Now, the extent of deviation of a real gas from ideal gas behavior can be studied in terms of the magnitude of the compression factor. It is called compressibility factor. It is also known as a compression factor or compressibility factor. Now, once again I am repeating, the extent of deviation of a real gas from ideal nature can be explained with the help of compressibility factor. The compressibility factor, it is represented by symbol Z. It is represented by a symbol Z. Now, what is the definition of a compressibility factor or compression factor? The compression factor or a compressibility factor, it is a ratio between the actual molar volume of a gas, to that of the molar volume of a perfect gas. What is the meaning of a perfect gas? Nothing but ideal gas. What is the meaning of a perfect gas? Nothing but ideal gas. Are you getting my point? So this is called compression factor. What is the definition of a compression factor? It is the molar volume of any gas to that of the molar volume of a perfect gas. What is the meaning of a molar volume? This is the volume occupied by the 1 mole of a gas. Now, the compressibility factor Z is also defined as it is a ratio between the property of any gas divided by the property of a ideal gas. Are you getting my point? Now, the property may be pressure, the property may be volume, the property may be temperature, anything. So we can take pressure of any gas in the sense real gas, and volume of a real gas divided by pressure of a ideal gas and volume of a ideal gas. Now, when we are comparing pressure and volume, we have to keep any one thing will be constant. Okay, if I keeping the pressure will be constant, then the compressibility factor will become volume of a real gas divided by the volume of a ideal gas. Are you getting my point? Now, the molar volume of a gas divided by the molar volume of a perfect gas. Now, the compressibility factor Z is equal to ratio between the molar volume of a real gas divided by molar volume of a perfect gas. Now, the Z value depending upon the nature of the gas. Are you getting my point? And also depending upon the some external conditions like temperature and pressure. Z value varies by changing the nature of the gas and by changing the conditions like temperature and pressure. Now, the molar volume of a perfect gas. What is the perfect gas equation? That is called ideal gas equation. PV is equal to nRT. Now, if you put N is equal to 1, then PV is equal to what? RT. Then what is the volume of a 1 mole of a ideal gas? V is equal to, shall I write RT by P? Yes, I am writing the volume of a perfect gas, that is equal to RT by P. Now, what is the Z value? Molar volume of any gas divided by the molar volume of a perfect gas. Now, the molar volume of a real gas, that will be in the numerator, and in the denominator, what is the molar volume of a perfect gas? RT by P. If you bring the RT by P in the denominator, the P will be go to numerator, so you will get Z is equal to P into V molar, that is the molar volume of a gas divided by RT. Now, this is for 1 mole of a gas. But if you want to take the n moles of a gas, then PV by nRT will be the compressibility factor. What is the final formula of compressibility factor? Z is equal to PV by nRT. What is the compressibility factor? Z is equal to PV divided by nRT. Now, here two cases are there when we are comparing with the PV and nRT value. The first condition, if the PV value may be equal to nRT or may not be equal to nRT. That means may not be equal to nRT means again there are two cases. PV may be greater than nRT or PV may be less than nRT. But the first case, if the PV value equal to nRT, that means numerator will be equal to denominator, then what about the compressibility factor? Z is equal to 1. That means when PV is equal to nRT, that means the gas will be which gas? Ideal gas or perfect gas. That means what is the compressibility factor for a ideal gas or a perfect gas? Z is equal to 1. Now for non-ideal gas or real gas, that means PV should not be equal to nRT. That means compressibility factor is not equal to nRT. Are you getting my point? If the compressibility factor Z is equal to 1, that is called no deviation. That means the gas is perfectly ideal gas. If the Z value not equal to 1, then the gas deviate from the ideal behavior. Now, when Z is not equal to 1, there are again two cases are possible. What are the two cases? Z may be less than 1 or Z may be greater than 1. Are you getting my point? Now, there are two cases. The first case will be the negative deviation. In the negative deviation, we say compressibility factor less than unity. In positive deviation, we can say compressibility factor greater than the unity. If the compressibility factor is equal to unity, there will be no deviation. That means the gas is perfectly ideal gas. If the compressibility factor is not equal to unity, that means there are two cases again possible. Z may be less than 1 or Z may be greater than 1. If the Z value less than 1, that is called negative deviation from ideal behavior. If the Z value greater than 1, that is called positive deviation from ideal behavior. Okay. Now, the difference between the negative and positive deviations, here we have the first difference between negative and positive deviation, compression factor or compressibility factor less than 1. In the right side, compression factor will be greater than 1. The second difference, the compression factor will be less than 1. This is due to attractive forces between the molecules. And the compressibility factor greater than 1, this will be due to repulsive forces. This will be due to repulsive forces. I will explain by one example. Let's suppose I have compressibility factor Z is equal to volume of any gas divided by volume of a real gas. Let's suppose I am taking STP condition. At STP condition, what is the volume of a perfect gas? That will be 22.4 liter or 22.4 decimeter cube. Are you getting my point? Now here Z value is equal to molar volume of a gas divided by the 22.4 liter where at STP condition. Now if you see, if the Z value suppose less than 1, what happens? That is molar volume of a gas will be less than 22.4 liters. What is the meaning of this one? That means molar volume of any gas is less than the molar volume of ideal gas at STP. That means at STP conditions, the ideal gas volume, 1 mole ideal gas volume will be 22.4 liters. We know in ideal gas there will be no attractive forces. Okay, but if you see the real gas volume is less than the 22.4, that means when the volume of a gas will decrease because of increasing of attractive forces. That means due to increasing of attractive forces between the real gases, what happens? The volume expected will be less than the 22.4 liter. That means volume will decreasing. That means due to attractive forces. And in this situation, Z value greater than, that means the molar volume of a real gas should be greater than the 22.4 liters. Okay. Now in ideal gas there will be no attractive force, no repulsive force. But if you see, the molar volume of a gas is greater than 22.4 liter. When the volume of a gas will increases? Due to repulsive forces. That means the molar volume of a ideal gas will greater than the molar volume of a perfect gas. That means this will be because of repulsive forces. At molar volume of a gas less than the molar volume of a ideal gas, that will be the due to attractive forces. Are you getting my point? The third difference here, molar volume of a gas will be expected less than that of the perfect gas, just now I explained, and molar volume of a gas will be higher than that of the perfect gas. That means V molar will be greater than 22.4 and V molar will be less than left side 22.4. Okay. At low pressure, some gases have less than 1 Z value. Generally at low pressure, some gases will have compressibility factor less than 1. But whereas at high pressure, almost all gases will possess compressibility factor greater than 1. Are you getting my point? Now here, negative deviation, this is due to attractive force. When due to attractive force, the gas can easily undergo compression. Yes. When the gas is easily undergo compression, it is easy to liquefy? Yes. Now on the right side, due to repulsive forces, it is very difficult to compress the gas. When the gas is difficult to compress, that means it is very difficult to liquefy also. It is very difficult to liquefy also. So these are the some difference between negative deviation and positive deviation of a non-ideal gas. Now here there are some graphical representation. The first graph corresponding to compressibility factor Z versus pressure. Now on the y-axis I am taking the compressibility factor Z, and on the x-axis I am taking the pressure of the gas. Are you getting my point? Now generally we are taking a constant temperature, that is the normal temperature. In this graph, if you observe, methane and carbon dioxide, okay, oxygen, if you see these gases, first of all their compression factor will be less than unity. So this is the Z value 1, this is corresponding to ideal gas. So Z value equal to 1, this is called perfect gas or ideal gas. Okay. Now if you see the gases methane, carbon dioxide, oxygen, they have negative deviation at low pressure. This is the low pressure. Okay. As the pressure increases, this will be low pressure. As the pressure increases, again the Z value what happens? Greater than 1, that will be increasing. Are you getting my point? This is the first graph. So at low pressure, some gases have compressibility factor less than 1, but whereas at high pressure almost all gases will have compressibility factor greater than 1. Now remember, in this compressibility factor versus pressure graph, if you see, there will be carbon dioxide which is more deviated from the ideal nature. So this is the comparison graph, that is Z is equal to 1. With respect to that line, which curve will be more extended, more deviated, that is corresponding to carbon dioxide. That means carbon dioxide has a great tendency to deviate from the ideal nature. That means it has more attractive forces, more deviation from the ideal behavior, more negative deviation from the ideal behavior. Are you getting my point? That means out of these three curves which have Z value less than 1, among these three graphs, compared to these three graphs, if you see carbon dioxide which has very low Z value, that means here the carbon dioxide molecules experiences more attractive forces. That means attractive forces are dominating. Still, if we increasing the pressure, when we are increasing the pressure, the repulsive forces arises. Due to repulsive forces arises, again the compressibility factor value what happens? Increases. And here this is a very important thing. Hydrogen gas has always compressibility factor greater than 1. This is some exceptional case, I will explain. Okay. Now the second graph, the graph corresponding to Z versus P, but the condition is different temperatures. Same gas, we have different temperatures. Now if you see, there are T1, T2, T3, T4 temperatures. The dotted line curve corresponding to which character? Ideal gas behavior. Okay. Now if you see, from T4 to T3, from T3 to T2, T2 to T1, if you see, the graph will be closely coinciding with the ideal behavior. Yes, that means if you increasing the temperature, the gas tending to behave as a ideal nature. That means as the temperature increases, the real gas behaves like a ideal gas. This is very important. As the temperature increases, the deviation of a real gas from perfect gas decreases. That means deviation decreases. Deviation decreases means the gas perfectly behaves like a ideal gas. The gas perfectly behaves like a ideal gas. Are you getting my point? Now the exceptional behavior of hydrogen and helium. You see, there are two important gases, dihydrogen and helium noble gas. In these two gases, if you observe the graph between the compressibility factor Z versus P, their Z value continuously increases. Their Z value what happens? Continuously increases. And these two gases, if you see these two gases, Z value greater than 1, continuously increases. The reason behind here is hydrogen and helium, they possess very low molecular masses. They possess very low molecular masses. Are you getting my point? That means they are lighter gases. These are which gases? Lighter gases. Now we know lighter gases, that means they have low molecular masses. That means in these molecules what happens? They experience a strong repulsive force. They experience a strong repulsive intermolecular forces. Due to strong repulsive intermolecular force of attractions, the compressibility factor always greater than 1. That means the positive deviation. This is the reason. Are you getting my point? That means hydrogen and helium, these two gases are very difficult to compress. Due to lower molecular masses, they possess very weak attractive forces. That means the strong repulsive forces are existing. That's why these two gases always show positive deviation irrespective of the pressure. If the pressure is very low, or if the pressure is moderate, or the pressure is very high, irrespective of the pressure, their Z value always greater than 1. This is the exceptional behavior of hydrogen and helium gases. Yes or no? Now come to boil temperature. This is a very important temperature. The temperature at which a real gas behaves like an ideal gas over a wide range of pressures is called boil temperature. Now the boil temperature, the formula of a boil temperature Tb is equal to A by Rb or Br. So here A and B, these two are known as a van der Waals constants. We will discuss in the next classes what are van der Waals constants. And R we know R we know gas constant, and Tb is called Boyle's temperature or Boyle's point. Now honor of the scientist Robert Boyle, this temperature is given as a Boyle's temperature. That means now real gas can behave like a ideal gas at a particular temperature, okay, within a wide range of pressure. Such temperature is known as a Boyle's temperature. Are you getting my point? Now here in this Boyle's temperature, if you observe, here I am writing Boyle's temperature. Now what is the Boyle's temperature here? It is a temperature at which a real gas behaves like a ideal nature over a wide range of pressures. That means if you draw a graph between the compressibility factor versus pressure, compressibility factor on the y-axis and pressure on the x-axis. Now this is a perfect gas, ideal gas. Are you getting my point? This will be the perfect gas. Now here, what is the meaning of a Boyle's temperature? It is a temperature at where a real gas behaves like a ideal nature over a wide range of pressures. That means at a particular temperature, a real gas almost behaves like a ideal gas. That means it is also having almost to Z value 1. Okay, now over a wide range of pressures, that means from this one to this one, in this pressure region, a real gas behaves like a which gas? Ideal gas. Such temperature is called Boyle temperature, that will be Tb. Are you getting my point? If the Boyle temperature, if you see, this is called Boyle's temperature. Now here if you observe the positive deviation, in this positive deviation what happens? Temperature is greater than the Boyle temperature. If there is a negative deviation, in this negative deviation, if the temperature is less than the Boyle temperature. Are you getting my point? Now at the Boyle temperature, the line will be almost parallel to the perfect gas, within a wide range of pressure. That means low pressure to moderate pressure. Are you getting my point? Once again, the temperature at which a real gas obeys ideal gas laws. A real gas obeys ideal gas laws over a wide range of pressure is called Boyle temperature. Now in the next class we will derive this expression how to calculate the Boyle temperature. Are you getting my point? Now Boyle temperature depends upon the nature of the gas. Are you getting my point? Each gas has its own characteristic Boyle temperature, and which is depending upon the A and B values. What are A and B? They are called van der Waals constants. What are A and B? Van der Waals constants. Now the second point, above Boyle temperature gases will show positive deviation. Just now I told you in the graph, above boil temperature, if the temperature is greater than the boil temperature, they show which deviation? Positive deviation. Are you getting my point? Next, below boil temperature, the gases will show negative deviation. That means below boil temperature, this is the graph 1, that is the boil's temperature, graph 2 greater than the boil temperature, graph 3 less than the boil temperature. So initially they show negative deviation, but still we are increasing the pressure, that will be increasing of pressure. Again what happened? The compressibility factor reaches to minimum value. Still on increasing of pressure continuously, the Z value further increases. Are you getting my point? Now there are some problems. The first question, 1 mole of a SO2 gas occupy a volume of 350 ml at 27 degrees Celsius temperature and 50 atmosphere pressure. Find the compressibility factor for the gas and comment on the type of the deviation shown by the gas from the ideal behavior. Now in this problem, what is the number of moles of a gas is given? SO2 1 mole. And what is the volume of a SO2 given? 350 milliliter. So I have to convert into liter. So I am divided 350 divided by, I am writing 1000, so that you will get 0.35 liters. Yes or no? And what is the temperature is given? 27 degrees plus 273 to convert into Kelvin, that is the 300 Kelvin. And what is the pressure is given here? 50 atmospheric pressure is given. We know what is the R value, gas constant value 0.0821 liter atm mole inverse and Kelvin inverse. Now we have to find compressibility factor. What is the compressibility factor formula? Z is equal to PV divided by nRT. Are you getting my point? What is the compressibility factor Z value? PV divided by nRT. Okay. Now here Z is equal to, pressure will be, how much is given? Pressure will be 50 atm and volume will be 0.35 liters whole divided by, what is the number of moles? 1. R value 0.0821 and temperature will be 300 Kelvin. After simplification, you will get the Z value which is equal to 0.71. Now tell me, Z value is less than 1 or greater than 1 or is equal to 1? This will be less than 1. Now we know compressibility factor less than 1, that means negative deviation. What is the deviation of SO2 gas? Negative deviation from ideal gas behavior. Negative deviation from ideal gas behavior. Okay. The second question, a real gas expected to exhibit maximum deviation from ideal gas. Now I already told you, under high temperature and low pressure, real gas behaves like a ideal gas. But in the reverse condition, that is high pressure and low temperature, it will be deviated from the ideal nature. Are you getting my point? So I am writing here, there are two cases, the ideal gas and real gas. When a ideal gas behaves like a real gas, when a real gas behaves like a ideal gas. Now we know under high temperature and low pressure, real gas behaves like a ideal gas, and in the reverse condition, that means under low temperature and high pressure, there will be a deviation from the real behavior. That means maximum deviation will be occur at low temperature and high pressure, occurs at low temperature and high pressure. So what is the option here? Low temperature and high pressure. So this is the maximum deviation of a real gas from ideal nature. Are you getting my point? Once again I am repeating, real gas behaves like ideal nature under high temperature and low pressure, but it deviates from the ideal gas behavior when pressure will be very high and temperature will be very low. Are you getting my point? Now come to the question number 3. The temperature at where a real gas obeys the ideal gas laws over a wide range of pressures is known as what? Boil temperature. What is the formula of boil temperature? TB equal to A by RB. This is a very important Okay, now in the remaining options, critical temperature, inversion temperature, we will discuss in the later on classes. Okay, now the compression factor of a gas is more than unity at STP. Okay, now what is the compressibility factor? That is equal to molar volume of any gas divided by molar volume of a perfect gas. What is the volume of a 1 mole of a ideal gas at STP? 22.4 liter or decimeter cube. Are you getting my point? That means in the question, the compressibility factor is given more than unity. That means Z greater than 1. When it will be happen? If the molar volume of real gas is greater than the 22.4 decimeter cube. Molar volume of a gas will be greater than 22.4 decimeter cube. Then the compressibility factor will be greater than unity. That will be option 1. Next, fifth question. Select the false statement about the compressibility factor. Okay, it is greater than 1 at very high pressure for real gases. Number 2, it is not less than 1 for hydrogen gas at ordinary temperature. For carbon dioxide gas, it is always equal to 1. This is equal to 1 at all conditions for a ideal gas. Now here, first option, it is greater than 1 at very high pressure. Yes, at high pressure, Z value greater than 1. This is the statement 1 is correct. And the second statement, it is not less than 1 for hydrogen gas. Yes, hydrogen gas, irrespective of the pressure, it will always show positive deviation. For CO2 gas, it is always equal to 1. This is incorrect statement. So this will be the incorrect statement because CO2 gas at low pressure deviates negative deviation and at high pressure positive deviation. And this is equal to 1 at all conditions of ideal gas. For ideal gas, there will be compressibility factor Z is equal to what? 1. Are you getting my point? The next question, the compressibility factor for hydrogen and helium usually. Now we know exceptional behavior of hydrogen and helium. For hydrogen and helium gas, the compressibility factor is always greater than 1 irrespective of the pressure. Yes or no? That means due to strong repulsive force, due to strong repulsive forces. Why they experience strong repulsive forces? Due to low molecular masses. Low molecular masses. Okay. Now, next question. There is a question number 7. From the following graph, represent a pressure P and volume V relationship at a fixed temperature T for n moles of a real gas. The graph has two regions marked 1 and 2. Which of the following option is true? So here first option Z less than 1 in the region 2. Number 2, second option Z is equal to 1 in the region 2. Option C, Z is equal to 1 for the curve, and D, Z approaches 1 as we move from region 2 to region 1. Now we explain the graph between the real gas and ideal gas when we plot between pressure and volume. Okay. Now here we are taking the pressure on the y-axis and volume on the x-axis. Okay. Now if you see the graph, there will be a deviation of a real gas from the ideal behavior as we increasing of the pressure. Are you getting my point? The first curve that is corresponding to ideal gas and the second graph corresponding to what? Real gas. Are you getting my point? So region 1 and region 2. Region 2 corresponding to low pressure, yes. Region 1 corresponding to low pressure, region 2 corresponding to high pressure. As we decrease the pressure, that means the deviation of a real gas will decreases. That means almost real gas behaves like a ideal nature. That means Z value approaches to unity because the ideal behavior Z value approaches to unity when we move from region 2 to region 1. That means as we move from high pressure to low pressure, then the real gas behaves like a ideal nature and Z value approaches to unity. Are you getting my point? That will be the D option. And the next, calculate the compression factor for carbon dioxide if the 1 mole of a gas occupies 0.4 liters at 300 Kelvin temperature and 40 atmospheric pressure. So it is similar to the first problem. So what is the compression factor formula? Z is equal to PV divided by nRT. PV divided by what? nRT. Okay. What is the data given here? Pressure is given to you 40 atmosphere. Temperature is given to you 300 Kelvin, and the volume of a gas that will be 0.4 liter. And how many number of moles of a gas will be given? 1 mole. And what is the capital R value? 0.0821 liter atm mole inverse Kelvin inverse. Otherwise, for simplicity, we can calculate R value as a 1 by 12 also. We can use R value as a 1 by 12. Now the compressibility factor Z is equal to, what is the pressure here? 40. Volume will be 0.4. Number of moles will be 1. R value I am taking 1 by 12. And what will be the temperature here? What will be the temperature here? 300. Are you getting my point? So 3 100 table and 3 4 table. Are you getting my point? 0 decimal gets cancelled. 16 4 into 4 into 4, that will be 64 by 100. So Z value will be nearly 0.64. Z value will be how much? 0.64. So out of the 4 options, the 0.64, the option will be the B option, because we are not using exactly 0.0821. So we are using R value as a 0.08 only, which is equal to 1 by 12. Are you getting my point? And so the compressibility factor less than 1. When the compressible factor is less than 1, easy to liquefy, easy to compress. Compressibility factor less than 1, easy to compress. Compressibility factor greater than 1, difficult to compress. Are you getting my point? Now, one more question is there. The compressibility factor is less than unity at STP. Just now I told you compressibility factor will be equal to molar volume of any gas divided by the molar volume of a perfect gas. I am taking molar volume, that is the 1 mole of ideal gas at STP 22.4 liters. Okay. Now here, what is the compression factor given in the question? Less than unity. When the Z value less than unity, so molar volume of a real gas will be less than the 22.4 liters. Yes, molar volume of a real gas will be less than the 22.4 liters. That will be the second option, that is the option number B. Okay.